Hello everyone, Bridget Casey with Bridget Casey Designs here today for ScrapbookPal.com. I'm so excited to share a project with you that I had so much fun making that you may not expect that you could create with this set. But we are using the Spellbinders Envelope of Wonder. And originally I was going to make an envelope. I was going to do it. I didn't. I changed my mind. So then I have the Halloween Wonder. And of course, I'm using the little kitty cat, as you can guess. So yeah, we use most of those actually. Then we have the Envelopes of Wonder Sentiments. So here I have a piece of cardstock that is 4.5 by 11. And I'm taking the envelope kind of liner piece out and I'm putting that on each of the ends. And I'm going to die cut that, which is going to give me a rounded end, which will give me interest when I'm creating my card. So I'm going to run this through my die cut machine. Be sure just to run through enough where you cut the die. If you continue to run it through, see, I stop and go back. If you continue to run it through, you're going to get a mark on your card panel because it's longer than the plates. So here I'm just going to trim off as best I can, nice and straight on those edges because it didn't cut fully. Then I'm going to readjust. I'm going to move my machine so you can see. Then I'm going to put that same piece into position on this side. I'll tape that into place. I'm going to flip it around because I only want to run through the piece that cuts the die. So we have that. So we're going to put away the die cut machine. Now we have our card panel. So I'm going to take my trimmer and I'm going to take a bone folder and I'm just going to connect the two edges. So the top and the bottom there, just going to connect them with a nice, beautiful score line and make sure that's nice and tight and beautiful. And I'll do the same on the other side. Then we have our gatefold card made with an envelope. How cool is that? So of course you can make envelopes with this. That's right in the name. But did you think we were going to make a card today? Surprise! So I've gone ahead and I've cut all the pieces out and I'm just kind of laying them out here so you can kind of see. Some of them are still stuck in the die because they had double-sided adhesive on them. I highly recommend double-sided adhesive as well as tweezers for this project. That will make your life so much better. And a nice little pair of scissors, and you will need a pen. So here are all the pieces. We're going to get started with our little ghosties first. So as I work on them, I'm going to take the dies off the table. So I'm putting a little glue. This is the Fawn Jumbo Glue Tube. And let me tell you, just look at the glue. You don't even have to squeeze it and it will come out. It's awesome. Does not get clogged. It's amazing. So we're going to go ahead and we're putting the backer so the ghosts have dark eyes and a dark nose. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to put our bat bodies on our bat wings. Never thought I'd say that in my life. But we're going to go ahead and do that. Then we'll take away the dies for the bats. So those are good. I'm going to start putting my banner together now. And while I do that, I did use some glitter cardstock from Altenew to make it nice and shiny because we like the shiny. But while I'm doing that, my office is still in shambles as I had to move it and I'm having surgery soon on my arm. So I was working with limited things for this project. But if I had had everything in my office, I would have put some Nuvo Drops, little red eyes on my bats. I thought that would look really, really cute. So I thought I'd share the idea with you, even though I was unable to do it for a multitude of reasons. Here's where the pen comes into play. This is the same color cardstock I used on our card base, and I'm going ahead and I'm tracing it with my pen, and I'm just going to cut this out. This will give me a layer behind my sentiment that had cut out there, my little tag cut out, which is awesome, but I want to have something behind it. So this is an oldie but goodie trick that you just trace around it, trim it out with your scissors. This is why you want to have a nice pair of scissors. These EK Success are phenomenal. I love them, and they are non-stick, which is great. That's their Honey Bee, so they work with sticky things, which is awesome. So I've got that trimmed out, and now I'm going to go ahead and see it mats it up perfectly. Now we're going to go and we're going to stamp our little sentiment. We have to have a ghouly sentiment for our cute little card here. So it says, "To my favorite ghoul." And then I thought, well, it says "to my favorite ghoul," so let's use some of the Altenew Essential Black and White enamel dots. We'll put a little heart. So let's have a little love, a little spooky love at the Halloween season. So we're going to go ahead and try to get that off my finger. This is why the tweezers are just priceless. Then Then we're going to go ahead and we will get our little foam squares. And I'm trying to finish up they don't seem, I feel like these repeat when I go to bed, like just a couple more get added. I don't know if somebody's doing it to be funny, but I'm trying to use up this little section. It seems like forever now. So yeah, maybe they're like bunnies. They just replicate at night. I don't know. But so I'm getting those. And I'm going to put that onto my layer and my sentiment is good to go. I'm also going to trim one of these into a piece because I'm going to put my kitty on the top of my sign. So I'm putting 2 little foam squares so my kitty can sit flat on the sign when we get to that point. But I just figured while I had the foam squares, let's go. And also there are in the shop, there are black of these foam squares and there are thin black and white of these foam squares. So make sure to check those out if you're interested. I had forgotten to bring over the spider web, so I brought those over. Now I'm just putting, like I did with the ghost, I'm just putting a piece of gray cardstock behind the kitty so the eyes don't fall out when I go to put in the colored eyes that I have. And then I figured, oh, what the heck? Let's do the pumpkin. So we're going to put the little top on our pumpkin there. We're all set. Move those dies. These are the kitty eyes. These were cut from frayed leaf from the Altenew gradient set, Green Fields. So we're going to put those on there. I thought it would be fun to have some cool, like glow in the dark kitty eyes too, you know, just lots of ways you can go. Then I decided to do a gray nose, same color as the cardstock base. So card base, sorry. These dies are a great way to use up like your little, I have all these little bits and bobs I save because I can't bear to throw them away. And I'm like, what am I ever going to do with it? This is what I'm going to do with it. So I'm so glad I saved these. These are from the new purple set from the Altenew Gradient cardstock, the purple there, the kitty eyes, and then we have the little kitty paws there. It's just so cute. Put on the little kitty hat. So I'd had some double-sided adhesive on the back there. Like I mentioned, that's priceless during this. And then if you have it somewhere you don't want it, just take your powder tool and it takes away the stickiness immediately. So now I have my double-sided adhesive where I want it, and then where I don't, it's not sticky. You could also cut another kitty to layer on the back because the back will be visible. I just did not do it for this particular project. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to get the little kitty paws out so the kitty can be holding on to the sign. I know in my house this is how it would go. They have to jump right in and be right in the middle of it because that's where they like to be. They like to help. They are just helpers. I don't know if your pets are as helpful as my pets are, but let me tell you, my pets are pretty helpful. Even when I don't know I need the help, they're there to help. So, you know, that's pretty good. So I'm flipping the ghosties over just so you can see the little faces. Now it's time to work on our card. So I'm removing the double-sided adhesive off the back of my spider web and I'm nudging it up in that corner as close as I can get. Then I'll just trim off that little extra bit that I have there. Because remember, this wasn't the actual envelope piece. So this was that little liner chunky piece. And then this one I'm going to put on too. I had pulled the double-sided adhesive off this one, so it wasn't as sticky, but it's still sticking there. So, and I also have stuff on top of it, so it's okay. It'll be just fine. So now we're going to take our little sign, and I'm just putting glue on the banner to hook it to my little sentiment sign here. I should not have put as many glue dots as I did on the little sign, I'll tell you that. So I did have to trim off the little banner a little bit and adjusted it, but it still works just fine. It still worked really well. And I also may, on the glitter paper, maybe use like a fine liner pen to trace the BOO so you can see the boo better. I'm putting 2 foam squares just on the side because I just want to put my little sign on one side so that my card can still open. So I recommend doing that while your card is open like I did. Then I put glue on the back of my ghost and changed my mind in an instant. Do you ever do that? I was like, oh, ooh, dimension. So then I was like, I can get rid of these foam squares. So we're putting a bunch of foam squares on the back of the ghosty, and then we'll tuck him in there. And the thing I love about doing this is it not only adds to the card on the outside, but when you open it, you have the 2 cute little ghosties. And then you can also do so much more, you know, decorating on the inside when you know what space you have to work with. So I did end up using the big bat on the front. I did not use the little bat in the project, but you could tuck him in somewhere. I'm sure there's somewhere you could tuck him in. but I was happy with where my project was, so I was going to stop there. And I'm putting foam squares on one of the bat's wings and in the middle of the bat body, because I'm going to put the body down first and kind of hook the wing so it will hold my card closed, essentially. Just be careful when doing this, because you don't want to, stick it when you don't want it stuck. And there's our card. And like I said, you could pop the bat up, you could pop that on the cat hat, lots of places. I hope you had fun watching this project. Head on over to the ScrapbookPal.com YouTube channel, like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Happy crafting.